I remember this happened last time as well. I was like, hang on, is this actually what the lanes are going to be? What's going on here? Like, are we going to be seeing a Storm Spirit in the off lane? I'm so intrigued.
I think that might still be the case.
Are you?
It might still be the Storm Spirit because Motivate weren't disconnected at the time when the picks happened. Whereas I feel like the timer just ran out for them being able to pick on SMG's side. We'll see though. Once the all pick does go through.
Well, how are we feeling overall though with this Conquer last pick? We still are not 100% certain of where the lanes are going to be played, but do you feel like this last pick is adding some things that Motivate were missing in their first 4 heroes?
I'm just actually having to look over at the stream. I'm forgetting what the picks were already. I mean, Conquer does give you a little bit more of that front line, right? The Storm Spirit, of course, is going to go in to try and distract a little bit, but I mean, the other question is who's going to be the one to try and go on the offensive, right? Because Nightstalker wants to, KP, assuming he's playing the Nightstalker, will want to try and get in on top of that Storm Spirit or the Lion, just negate them from being able to do anything in a lot of these team fights. And with that extra vision that you're going to get from the Dark Ascension, it's going to enable the setup really well for the Rupture as well. So you're not even going to have the counter initiate from the Rolling Thunder. But if Motivate with their lineup are the ones that are going to try to initiate, they're probably going to try and look to jump the Bloodseeker or the Grimstroke, right? The ones that don't have a lot of natural escape potential. And I feel like the Kunkka is going to somewhat more enable that, right? It just provides a lot of chaos, being able to lay down the boat, protect your own supports, and provide yourself with a little bit of safety there. Of course, I even forgot about the silencer. That's certainly something that's very squishy if you're able to get on it super early.
Yeah, it seems like. How do you feel like the Silencer Storm matchup fares? Because Storm has got incredible gap close in the entirety of the game, pretty much, but Silencer against heroes that are very reliant on their spell casting can be a big nuisance for someone like the Storm Spirit. So is it going to be more dependent on maybe the team around him, the items, or is it still just naturally a better matchup for one of the two?
I think it's just the better matchup, like I was saying before, right? You don't want to be playing this this matchup where you're constantly spamming out spells and you've got the Silencer's Arcane Curse really just bullying you out of the lane. And like I mentioned before, with the Glaives of Wisdom and the Insteel, it's going to be pretty devastating. But, on the other side, you've got a Kunkka, doesn't really want to be casting a ton of spells, so Arcane Curse isn't going to get a ton of value. You've also got a good way to start harassing out the Silencer a little bit too. I mean, his armor isn't that amazing. It's less than 3, I believe, at level 1. So the Tidebringer is going to be doing a decent amount. And I think the Storm Spirit still kind of sucks for the team fights that are going to happen in the early to mid game before the BKBs come online. But it's much more manageable now in the laning stage.
All right, well, we do get to see on how at least SMG are running everything at the moment. Motivate's still holding off. Oh, okay, one of them, good old Jackie, just going to the bathroom real quick. So we will have, at least with how SMG are playing their heroes at the moment previously to what we saw, of course, it was more than likely just an issue of everyone disconnecting. Do you feel like this changes your mind? Or I guess we're still waiting to see whether Conquer and Storm.
I guess I'll wait for it. I would be...
I'd be shocked if it's not a Fearless Storm.
Big mistake. Yeah, I think it does need to be the Conquer mid. Wait, Fearless Storm? No, I think it still is the Conquer mid.
You reckon it's a 3 Storm?
Yeah. I don't think you can play Storm into Silencer mid. I think you're going to be punished incredibly heavily.
Okay. So what... Interesting. A 3 Storm. Is that...
Like I said, they're unorthodox. They've been known to do it. I mean, Fearless's Storm Spirit is very good. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like you'd be making the lane more difficult than it would need to be. But then again, I mean, Mid One Monkey King, Bloodseeker combo together with it, like that's not easy for a Storm Spirit either to be able to, if it was being played in the off lane. So, a lot of ifs and buts and maybes here.
That's the question. We've got a doozy of a game 1 to kick us off tonight, and it's of course getting to about midway through the group stages as well. So teams looking to continue with their momentum again. For anyone that isn't aware, SMG is top of the table at the moment, and Motivator currently in 3rd position. So this is quite the clash. You know, the top 4 teams will make it to the upper brackets, and then the 5th to 8th place teams will advance to the lower bracket. And unfortunately, for the remaining 2 teams, will be eliminated. So we get to see how they're playing now for Motivate. I'm also excited to see how Jackie's Terrorblade is going to fare as well. This is, you know, a hero that we haven't seen as often, and you are right. All right, MG.Trust playing the Storm Spirit in the off lane.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how it works. I mean, it feels like with this silencer pick, it's something that Motivate would just like, oh crap, you know, how do we let this happen with it being able to pull on through? So remember the way that it showed up just now. I'm not sure if it showed up on the API at all, but they last picked the Kunkka previously instead of the Terrorblade. So it was very much in response to that silencer pick coming out there. I'm keen to see how it works out. I think the Kunkka is going to be totally fine against the Silencer in the mid lane, but the main concern right now for Motivate is how is Storm Spirit going to go into this this Monkey King Bloodseeker lane, and the tips already started to fly out.
Very good, very good. Get the tips going through. We get to see Fearless on another incredible hero for himself. The what level is he up to now on the Conquer? And still level 25, but this is a treat we get to see. And then we have a position 3 Storm Spirit on MG.Trust. How exciting. But do we feel like Terrorblade is going to get to the stage where he can be this big old late game win condition like we saw so often before 7.3?
I think it's heavily going to depend on how much you're giving over to the silencer. You know, if he's able to farm a decent amount, like I said before, Glaives of Wisdom, pure damage. You can have as much armor as possible, but if he's able to just sit back and lay in onto you with, you know, probably need to build up into a Dragonlance, Hurricane Pike eventually. If you can get a Grove Bow, of course, that's fantastic. And, you know, just try and... It's always hard to try and outrage a Terrorblade, but, you know, Moon, if you give him the freedom, even if he gets into that Aghanim Shard, right, you're going to have the Glaives bouncing around onto the Terrorblade illusions as well, so a decent way to wipe him out. And as is tradition, it's another 0-minute fight.
Well, for a while we weren't seeing many of these, but all of a sudden, the brawls before the Horn continuing to stack up as Set Zero. Just going down first. He's got Shield Crash up in a couple of seconds if he wants to jump over the cliff. So they've used a lot of resources for this initial engagement, but no one will be brought down.
Pango did use the salve though, so that's a pretty significant deal. That you know, he has to waddle his way all the way back to base. He'll be able to buy up another one if he wants to in the meantime after just healing up to full with the fountain. Is this the first time that we've seen the... This is obviously the Motivate.Trust roster that has been the case for a lot of the time, but Lionax was playing with him for a fair amount, and for people that aren't aware, Set Zero is the old Boom Bell. So is this the first time that we've seen this particular roster in a while?
I think we saw it a couple of times when they brought back Set Zero, but not many. Not many, at least for us in particular. I know they've been together... How long do you feel like now? It's been still a bit of time that they've been together. I think we just got a break from seeing Motivate for a while. Overall, feels like a pretty strong lane here. Unfortunately, Jackie, he's already got full use out of the metamorphoses, so he's not going to be able to harass probably as much as what he would be hoping at the start. As you know, both the side lanes, a lot of aggression. Rogi up top. They've got another Earth Spike, which can allow MG.Trust to get on top to set up for the Remnant. Rogi, no more tangos to cut through the tree line. He can play around with the stick and the salve, which is enough to keep First Blood from still occurring.
Radiant.
So close to picking up that level 2 as well. If they had it, the Overload would have definitely guaranteed the kill onto Rogi there. But mid one, he's actually looking to try and get a little bit aggressive here. He's got the Jingu stacked up and just trying to harass Q a little bit. Is it going to cost him though? I think he can turn around and man fight here with a Jingu.
He's going to try now. Earth Spike still a little bit away. They're going to dive on Q. Will unfortunately be just tagged on the outskirts, but This is interesting. So a double range, but with all the magical damage at the moment and the spam that Radiant have, because they've got relatively strong menopause a piece from these heroes. And you see that they're currently out harassing, but it's going to force mid one to have to bring out a lot of regen. He's currently out of resources, so we'll see.
Everyone is. Yeah. They're all out of resources. They only just had salves delivered through onto Q and Rogi. So they're going to look to try and continue to fight again. He's just so fast with all this brawling going on. The first movement speed means he doesn't even need the boots there on Rogi.
Now, I'm intrigued if MG.Trust goes for a point in Vortex, or if he's going to go to try and up his damage just a little bit with maybe a second level in Q. So they potentially offer a double stun. And we could see this be a bit difficult for SMGs. MG.Trust though. As you see the Boundless holds him back, but still Rogi's in trouble. Be able to pick up first blood finally for Motivate, and mid one still trying to man fight here. MG.Trust doesn't have any mana in the tank, but Q also lacking it as well for the Earthspark. Finally, MG.Trust just getting enough for the Vortex, and yeah, our offlane still on the Spirit. Why not pick up a double kill to start?
Yeah, even using the bottle in the middle of the electric vortex there, making sure that he was at zero risk of dying. He's, oh, look at this. I love these sorts of plays. Giving the bottle over to his Lion. He's going to need to, of course, play fairly safe in the lane, but why not give it over to him? You know, Kunkka's not one of those mids that really heavily relies on having the bottle for his regen. He can always X himself and TP back to base.
Well, we got a chance to look at some of the other lanes here. Mid for Fearless, 22-7 compared to the 19-5 right now on the Silencer. Fearless has fallen pretty low, but it's going to be nice that at least Q can pick up another bottle. So at least top lane, their resources is going to be a little bit better than what it was previously. And for
Rogi just chasing him, trying to bully him as much as possible. But no, the Bannerud was already picked up, so Q's done his job. I wonder how Moon's going to change his build, if at all, here. Like, I was kind of thinking he might have tried to go a little bit more into the last word, just because you're an int hero against a strength hero, and Kunkka's not one of those guys that likes to build up into any kind of stats. You know, he's obviously got a couple of Ironwood branches, he might go into a wand, but braces aren't really the meta, so you don't get that.
Just
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, just a level 2 void and only 1 point stroke of fate was enough to burst him down from afar. I don't think he had much of Metamorphosis left, but still getting a pretty valuable kill, which you wouldn't expect at the first daytime here for SMG. And top, the action continues as Rogi just protected thanks to the use of the Blood Riot. So MG.Trust not able to get the last little bit of damage in, but mid one's still looking to try and find his Jingu stacks, and he's going to be cautious now because they've got the chain control. He still gets the Boundless off in the nick of time. Is it enough to keep the life as MG.Trust will turn? So close to getting the kill before he dies, and Rogi should be able to scurry away, although the Earth Spike before the silence. Maybe he can get a neutral. No, never mind. He's stuck in. He still gets it. The Corsair 19 attack damage was enough to pick that up.
Yeah, the magic resist was, you know, not going to be good enough to be able to
Another
provide
one?
another kill.
Another neutral, and us at 0. They've rotated in mid one, and that's another kill picked up for SMG. Let's go. Oh,
I don't know what's going on down here for Jackie. This really shouldn't be happening in this lane. Only just hitting onto the nighttime, so KP taking advantage of that that early advantage. Honestly, MG.Trust probably shouldn't have died on that top side. He had the electric vortex available before mid one was able to get off that boundless with a Jingu mastery, so he should have died a lot quicker, not had the damage come back out onto him.
Well, Fearless, he cut the tree. They've got the rotations coming through. Let's see if the burst is enough through Conker's ultimate. Oh, great use of the Mischief from mid one. Now we need some time to be able to stack up the Jingu. Let's see if the Ink Spot can provide that. Now mid one's in fighting shape, and unfortunately for Fearless, he's not really at the moment. He can play around with the run buff. That's not enough. Now mid one even ultimate picked up, so he'll force the Lion to cancel the TP. But for Z0, he's kind of locked into his position. Unfortunately, with the Swashbuckle being on cooldown, there is no escape for the position 5, and simultaneously the top lane, Moon and Rogi paired up together can bring down the off-lane Storm Spirit.
Everything going well right now for SMG. Overall, the net worth is still sitting fairly even. Kunkka and MG.Trust having a fairly good time there, but the rotation's on point, realizing that the TP is the one that's going to eventually carry this game. So a lot of focus being put onto Jackie. to try and harass him down as quickly as possible.
Oh, this is
going to be an early tower as well.
Very, very early tower. So we'll see how this can now start to free up the map.
Bottom tower
but for poor old Jackie, not having the...
I mean, who can even come down here as well is the other question, right? TB can't. It's into the dead lane now. Maybe the Storm Spirit can. Of course, he's got the safety of the ball lightning to be able to get away.
Pango doesn't seem the worst at being able to do it. Not into mid one though, I should say. If Monkey's...
Yeah.
This is the nice thing about the hero. Like, wherever he gets lane farm, it feels like you just push someone out of the lane, which is a big reason on why we see the hero thrive. And
converging on Jackie.
He's just been no man's land pretty much. Early use of the Sunder, but instantly the global silence preventing any follow-up on the backline to keep Jackie alive, and he will end up ticking out to the Arcane Curse. And that's 5 early deaths on the Terrorblade, but still Motivate. Trying to pivot towards the lane with MG.Trust thinking about getting involved there, but
Look at
SMG.
this. Even giving the bottle over to KP, realizing that he's the key threat for them right now. Maybe could even look to go into the mid lane, make sure he picks up his level 6, but they're trying to go for a little bit of a backstep play here. They should know that this is warded up as well. Of course, kind of similar to the 0 minute mark. Yeah, they'll be able to see that observer ward is placed up there. Will they get the deny? No, they will not. They're more worried about trying to find out this pesky Pangolier sitting in the tree line. But unfortunately for KP, not going to get any use out of that double damage. Just uses it to farm.
So does look like Moon is a fan of the hand of Midas on the Sansa. We saw him go for the hero when they played the Elder Titan off lane, and they both picked up the Midas. So it looks like this is a build that he favors instead of some of the others potentially. So at least gives him a great way to scale into the late game as they're stalking set 0 on the tree line mid one. It's gonna drop down a very early ultimate. At least the Pango can get out of range. They're taking quite a while to kill him. Now with the tier 2 glyph as well. With all the multi-shots coming into the fray, MG.Trust, he doesn't care about diving the Wukong with how much extra damage he has from the tower.
I really love that. You know, it's not going to save the tower at all, but if you're able to clean up a couple of kills, very, very worth it. Afu, he's coming up to the top side. They're trying to take down Q here. But, well, I don't think you're going to be able to take out Jackie as well with that Metamorphosis freshly popped. And you were down in position 3 Storm Spirit.
That's a big kill if they can pick it up. So close to the Midas, and they will start to slow it down.
That's the other thing, like, kind of why I was... Arcane Curse is a very strong ability, don't get me wrong, but it feels like it's not that great against the Kunkka. Eventually, it's not going to be amazing against the Terrorblade when he picks up the Manta style, can just very quickly get it off. And, I mean, the Kunkka's going to probably go into an early BKB, same sort of thing with the Storm Spirit. Yeah, both of them have that queued up. They realize how important it is for them to be able to just continuously turn around and fight and essentially make the Silencer, your mid laner, useless in the probably 15-minute mark onwards.
Do you feel like, though, this might be an issue for Motivate with the late game of having very low BKB timers, or do you feel like it's not too much of a factor? They're really just worried about the early to mid game.
Probably the early to mid game, but they actually get a nice use of the global silence off. They're even going to catch him inside of the Blood Rite. That's a big kill to be given up. Oh.
Alright, well, slightly close to the blink is going to be Q. He's having a relatively solid game right now. We saw his laning stage impact with the Lion, 1-0 and 3. He's already got the Trank, so that should definitely be all he needs before he's going to start working to the Blink Dagger. 830 gold now for him, and they don't have... Like, I wonder, would you like to see Set 0 as well go for Blink on the Pango position 5, or do you feel like they're covered in that regard with the Lion and the Storm to start fights?
I think it depends on how the next little bit of time goes this game, right? Because if you're able to, you know, take a few team fights, get some more wins, and be able to get rid of the towers and establish some map control, if you can go in onto the Bloodseeker to start the team fights, absolutely. Blink Dagger is the way to go still for the for the Pangolier in my eyes, even in that pos 5 role.
Moon just on the outskirts there of that smoke gank. They were so close to picking up a key kill on the Silencer, but unfortunately is out of range.
they end up smoking themselves, trying to make a bit of a play. You can see the line being drawn there by Afu on the map. He wants to go check their their jungle a little bit here. Will this observer ward reveal it? No. They're going to go around. They want to juicy a target if they can.
Setsura might just be in range.
The one to pop it, though. Ooh, not yet, Jackie. Gotta get out of there, man.
It's in trouble. They've got the... Actually, no level in the global stance, so it's still on cooldown. Is Jackie tanky enough? He is not. And Motivate too late to be able to get there in time. I mean, it's with all the bursts they have through. They're still going to try and stick around here on Motivate. The Rupture's now expired, but Setsura doesn't really have much impact with the Rolling Thunder on cooldown, so they're going to look to try and target Roger, but even mid one looking to show up as well. Down to the southern side, Food KP battingly out with just Q at the moment. Try and target down the line in the river, and KP having no way to be able to contest him, although a quick Hex gives him some distance. And now KP going to be a bit cautious. I don't think they've got the damage just with these heroes. Conquer without that boat is a bit of an issue, but meanwhile Mastra, so that's a key component if they're able to bring him down. He's had a very, very solid start to this game, but it looks like with very little mana left to work with the Stroke of Fate, unfortunately get a clip from the creep, so there's no escape there. So they're hunting down KP top. It's taking them so long to bring down the Night Stalker. Now Jackie's in trouble, so bind it up. They're diving deep under the T1 tower, but they've got 4 heroes to be able to tank up with ease, and recognizing Motivate with their heroes down in their positioning up top, previously killing the Night Stalker, there was no way to be able to penalize.
0-5-0 now on that Terrorblade. At least you've got the BKB coming out to Fearless here, but I'm not sure if he's going to be enough to stop this push on his own. You've got 4 heroes on SMG grouped around, but I feel like they're not caring too much about the Conquer. You know, he's not the main concern for them right now. Being able to take out this Storm Spirit and TB super early on is going to do a lot to prevent the snowballing as well as objective taking that Motivate are going to need to rely on.
Was it mid one we were seeing really like the 4-1-4 build when he was going Deso and Monkey? I'm trying to remember now.
I know he went more levels in Tree Dance than most Monkey Kings did, but I don't think it was this many. I think he probably put like 2 points into it just for a little bit of extra Primal Spring slow value, considering how active he likes to get. But, you know, in that same vein, considering how active he likes to get, you do need more points in it now.
Mid one is the target. Mastros has used a lot of his mana at the moment, instantly laying down the global stance to protect mid one. He's just going to be able to answer the Storm Spirit. X back, it's not enough to keep the Storm alive. Setsura as well has to answer in his own TP, but there's nowhere to cancel. But it looks like mid one now will just turn his attention to Q in the backline. If they can't deal with one of the supports, maybe they can get the secondary. Probably more important in the line, just trying to slow down the blink timing. And mid one will burst through him with ease. We're going to drop the Wukong because he saw Fearless TPing in. Unfortunately, no way to lock him inside the big ultimate. Meanwhile, by the triangle, oh, guess who? Jackie again. KP and Moon doing the dirty work, giving no opportunity for Jackie's Terrorblade to get any farm across the map.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're like, well, guys, what do I have to do to try and find a little bit of farm for myself? It's just, he is target number 1, and Fearless, he's even going to get going on here as well. That's
just going to be cautious. Chain lockdown's a bit lacking. They're really deep as well, but they still have this nighttime vision advantage. Rolling through Setsura. It's going to cut the fight in half. They'll still end up bringing down both supports here either side the line, along with the Bloodseeker. Being able to Soulbind once again, leashing 2 together. Going to try and target down Mastros. He can make it up on the high ground. SMG so unrelentless with their position. They don't want to give any breathing room to Motivate at all.
And eventually, actually, he changed it up. He went back into the Desolator on the Monkey. He had the Maelstrom queued up for the longest time. I was thinking maybe, you know, it's the thing that's still going to be able to dish out a fair amount of damage onto this Terrorblade, but it doesn't feel like mid one's been the one to focus in on him. You know, KP on his Night Stalker as well as Moon, they've been the ones that have been hunting TB as much as possible.
Astros? Here I am. What's the Bloodseeker strength gain? 2.7. I was going to say, he's pretty tanky at the moment.
He is. You can sense that they want to get active as much as they can, right, Rogi? Get rid of their vision as well, so very nicely done. Even getting the Rupture off onto Fearless. He has not had an impact in these past few team fights.
Just looking for a BKB TP out. Make it. The rest of the team, though. KP's actually just going to brute force in the high ground, and he'll pay the price. Running in blindly. It's a big consequence that he'll have to undertake as Motivate. Trade a 1-for-1. It is, again, the early BKB. It's down to 7 seconds now for Fearless.
He's literally done nothing, it feels like, in the past 4 team fights, and it's just all on SMG's positioning. Realizing that they need to try and avoid him or just plant out the rupture onto him really quickly to prevent any kind of aggressive movements coming out. One of them was his fault. He underestimated the amount of mana that he needed for the level 2 ghost ship, so he wasn't able to use it to save Masteros when he got global silence to the right of their outpost.
Jackie feels like he can fight. We're gonna see if this is true or not. So well, that's probably not the fight he's looking to bring himself into, as they just leash them both together to set up beautifully for all the AoE abilities. And now they still don't care about the towers. We saw what happened previously with the multi-shot. Maybe it'll cause dividends here with the tier fight under the tower. The Storm Spirit getting brought incredibly low. He's going to look to turns, clean off the Night Stalker. Bloodseeker's the next target. It's a lot of commitment here for the fight from Motivate. It's all up to Masteros to be able to turn it back in their favor. With the silence coming through with the chain control, it's enough as Moon, a monster killing streak, and he's up to 16 stacks now with the silencer.
It feels like ever since the 5-minute mark, the most effective thing on the Radiant team has been that glitch. You know, it's the only thing that's been able to net him a couple of kills now onto both KP and mid-1. The multi-shot coming through there and being able to at least salvage something out of this. But again, Jackie ends up going down. It was a fortunate soulbind coming through that was able to connect in onto the Terrorblade as well as the Lion. So, you know, sometimes luck is there for you. And, oh, man, speaking of Arfu, look how farmed he is. He's almost finished up his Aghanim Scepter, only 1 item away, essentially, at the 19-minute mark.
Seems like a very fun game here for the Terrorblade, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going straight into the BKB after this. He's like, guys, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting focused down. They have been able to wait consistently to place that rupture onto the Pangolier as well, so it feels like no one really is having a good game in this one for Motivate.Trust, and it's not even on them. It's not their fault. It's just some really great cohesion coming through from SMG. And
they're winning all these fights pre-BKBs as well, and pre-Aghanims, which was just completed on Moon. They're looking to try and hunt Masteros. Did they just see him? They did. Masteros. It's the initial silence. He's still going to be able to get the zip TP out. It's not a long distance, though. Woo. Okay.
That silence is on you. You better make sure that that zip is the maximum possible distance. Otherwise, you're just stuck. You can't move for the longest time. And yeah, like you said before, the Aghanim Scepter picked up for the silencer. For those that don't know, now makes it an AoE ability. Busted. Absolutely busted. The AoE on it is huge. It's pretty common that you're going to be able to launch it in onto so many heroes in these team fights, and again, it's magical damage. So now you do have a way to wave clear, as well as deal with the TB illusions in these team fights that are yet to come.
I believe they know Storm Spirit's down here, seeing the Courier. Master zip again. Uh-oh. First silence is out. Secondary stun lock. They need the blood right, perfectly timed. Fortunately, it's not. Again, Masteros getting out of dodge, but he's playing it so close to home.
They could have got that kill if they wanted to with the global silence, but you're just realizing that, look, we need to try and keep the pressure up somehow. We're fine with being able to bully him away, take the tier 2 tower. They'll get the outpost as a result, and then still be in an aggressive position. So that even though Motivate might have a few BKBs up, of course, Fearless, his is already down to 7 seconds, but Storm Spirit, 400 gold away, TB, same sort of deal. So if they've still got the global silence to be able to counter out those BKBs, they're still sitting in a pretty good spot.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, it's still only a 3,000 net worth lead, though. The fact that they've got a 12 kill advantage at the moment from SMG and a 2 tower advantage as well. So all in all, Motivated doing a relatively decent job. Arfu might be in trouble. They've kind of avoided completely with all the rest of the heroes. I guess that's because they're trying to kill off Set Zero to the other side of the map.
That was key. He was going for the Boots of Travel TP onto the creep wave there with Moon. You know, you're 11, 1, and 5, but I don't think even you were able to go into that many heroes at that time. Maybe if you had a BKB, but not quite yet.
And How is Jackie saying net worth is mid one? That blows my mind. Is this just props to how fast Terrorblade can farm? Is it Jackie's farming patterns? What's going on here?
I think every single time that he's died, or at least the most of them, he's still been able to get off the conjure image and just toss the illusions into the jungle and continue to farm while he's dead.
I don't have the greatest way to deal with the illusions like we're seeing now mid from Rogi. So yeah, TB is just pretty much freely farming up with any of these he wants. And yeah, do you feel like it's going to get to a stage where, I know Jackie probably needs a little bit more net worth, but can he get to that stage where he's going to be the main carry of this game?
I think he can. It's going to become a whole lot more difficult, like we were mentioning before. With a silencer going into the hand of Midas, it provides you with a lot of scaling, and with the new Aghanim Scepter plus the level 25 talent with Last Word muting, that's going to be the key differential there. You know, if you're not able to get off a Manta style, if you're not able to BKB, then that seriously hinders a TB's survivability, and you can look to get the burst down because, you know, with that Aghanim Scepter that Arfu's got, the stronger that you're getting on the TB, the stronger you are as a Grimstroke. You know, the position 4 is going to be able to dish out so much damage.
Radiant smoked up, looking to try and bring down KP underneath the T2 tower. This is not an easy task at all, especially with the BKB about to be delivered. It looks like they're potentially thinking about
target.
Can they start? Can he get the global silence off as well? Moon illusion gives him enough ample time. Now with the BKB pop, however, Masra still at least able to zip himself back to safety. He's doing a decent job to be able to bring down the silencer. So we're 1-for-1 to start the engagement. Mid one's used a very early ultimate, but now to the northern side, Conquer is a bit split from the team, and unfortunately for Fearless, the BKB has already been expended as well. So he cannot just TP himself off to safety. As Radiant, it seemed like they were looking for a pickoff to lead into Roche, but it might be Dire now who have this on the cards.
Yeah, obviously wanting that to go better. They still get the tier 1 tower, they still get the kill streak away from Moon, which is a big plus for Masaros here. He's just going to need to have the game of his life, essentially. You know, the first BKB usage coming out there, good timing on using it as well. Would he even look to go for the hero play is my big question. He just ran all the way back to base so that he would have the TP for any kind of Roche contest. You can see the Conjure image coming in here. It's going to scout it out. Will Storm Spirit TP in?
All right, he's gonna come.
Yeah, he's coming.
They're not doing pretty fast, and mid one's quite low. So as BKB, Jackie as well has got meta BKB. This could actually be a solid fight for Motivate. It's gonna zip on in, try and target down the Monkey King, and they'll kill him off. And Roche is low. They might be able to target before Monkey gets back in the area. So KP's just gonna brute force and charge in forward. Roche still not down just yet. Who's gonna be able to snatch up the Aegis? With the BKB's finally expiring. Mid one, can he get it? He can.
Where's the Sunder?
Quicker fingers, Jackie. He doesn't get the clutch Sunder off. So the Terrorblade will fall once again. And a huge buyback from mid one allows him to snatch the grand prize of the Aegis. And they might also get some icing on top of that as well with getting set 0.
Jackie, he just wasn't able to do it. You know, he had a Grimstroke illusion chasing him as well as the Monkey King with that fresh BKB pickup. So even though he had to expend the buyback...
He's out of mana. Boone can cut off. They've got Fearless and Q nearby. They're going to try and target down the Silencer. They won't have a way to keep Storm alive, but at least they've got some damage to go through Moon. They're going to be careful how long they stick around. It's just mid one currently. Or the X? Did Fearless X himself? So he's in trouble now, Roger. Still no way to cancel. They recognize this. They'll just try and chase the easier tug, which will be Q. Take him a bit. Not just a Boundless. Still no stuns are available. Jackie's back alive. Mid one's incredibly deep and BKB up in a couple seconds. Jackie's actually going to be cautious now. Oh, what a chaotic game. Are they thinking about going back in? Hang on. You got 4 heroes on Dire.
I don't know if you can do it without Storm. They're going to try.
Instant BKB. A complete waste of the Rolling Thunder, and without any metamorphosis for Jackie, the damage, it's just not there in the arsenal. They'll try and target down Fearless, recognizing the BKB's on cooldown, and without the boat to give him some of the survivability, Fearless will fall, and they're still also hunting the Terrorblade. Arthur and Rogi just both supports, locking no escapability. Now Masaros is committed as well, 1 by 1. The chain feed from Motivated SMG running a rampant.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm not sure what they're doing there.
Radiant's
I mean,
middle tower
like I
is
said
under
before, I
attack.
feel like you need Masros there to be able to contest that. And, you know, the mid tower, it was healthy. You know, you could have tried to play a little bit defensively.
Masaros? Finger of
Hello?
Death isn't enough to be able to burst him down. BKB still good at mid one. Has he back up to full? Arfu's Aghanim Shard kills mid one to such a high regard that they don't even burst him at all.
Radiant's top tower
Motivate kind
is
of made a
under
brand
attack.
off being you know, hyper aggressive, playing together as a team. But I just said it, you got to be
Radiant's
together
middle tower
as a
is
team,
under
and it feels like they're constantly taking these
Radiant's top
engagements
tower
where
is under
you know they're a
attack.
little bit further away from each other. It's 3 against 5, it's 3 against 4, it's 2 against 4, it's 1 against 4 in that
Radiant's top
situation
tower has
with Masros trying to get it onto him. And even if he killed mid one, it's just the Aegis. You know, it's not even going to be the big thing that turns him around. He's not going to have that dieback affecting him. So a lot of
Radiant's
BKB
bottom
usages,
tower is
and
under attack.
Century, he might even be in trouble here. Just going for a simple D1 is so difficult.
They, I mean, this has just been the story of the game. Pickoff after pickoff, and they feel like they need a global silence this time to get set 0. So, I mean, we'll see if it'll cost him if a fight breaks out in the next 80 seconds.
What the... Obviously, Moon, he's been focused down a couple of times now, so he's got the blast rig that's going to provide him with a little bit of extra survivability. Even, like I said before, look at that. Look at how much damage
Dire's top
he's
tower
able to dish out now. He can wave clear, even as this silencer who's notoriously weak at doing so. Gonna try and kill mid one here with the use of the Aghanim
He's
Shard.
still got the Aegis. I don't think you're killing mid one. Maybe the tower will do it. First life taken care of. He's got BKB, Wukong's as well. Let's see if he can get anything off. The chain lockdown's perfect. There's the Earth Spike. There's the control. Mid one will fall. He's down for a long time as well. That's a dieback previously. They're going to look to try and transition for Arfu, pivoting to deal with the backline, but it's just Mastros at the moment. Dive's done a pretty good job to cut the fight. Maybe to minimize the losses here. Unfortunately with KP, with the BKB expiring, they can drag him back with the X. Still lacking the control thanks to the free pathing. To try and clean off Rogi.
He's so fast, man. Oh.
Wait.
You don't go for the loop.
Rogi?
Rogi? Rogi?
KP's in trouble. Alright, KP's gonna fall. No way they...
Oh.
Jackie? Oh, Roger's still near... But Rogi!
What are you doing, man? Just turn the illusions around, whack him.
Do not believe Storm has enough mana. Doesn't know where he is as well.
But you just see there, right? That's the difference with Motivate fighting as 5. They've got great team cohesion. It's just at the previous couple of engagements where it's gone so horribly for them, it hasn't been the whole team. You know, it's been a couple of fragments of their full roster just coming through and trying to do the work of 5 men. But, you know, when they are finally to group up together and make an engagement, it works out more often than not. So they're right back into this game. It's a 5k net worth lead at the moment. Win probability still in SMG's favor, but you know, it gives them a little bit of hope, especially with mid one still being off onto the sidelines for the longest time. He's, I think he spent about 110 seconds in the grave there, where Jackie's just continuing to get farmed.
Didn't we see this the other day where SMG had been so active and completely controlling the enemy side of the map where they had 4 bounty runes just yet to claim, and this game Rogi just picked up 3?
It's kind of crazy, right? I was having a look into Moon's build before. Okay, he's changed it up again. So he was going into the BKB, and I was thinking, all right, that's just for a little bit of extra survivability. It feels like he needs to be playing perhaps a bit too passive. But now he's gone into the Shadowblade. I really want him to get intelligence right now. And that's not I'm not griefing how smart he is. I'm saying the attribute, because with that last word int multiplier, I feel like that's going to be incredibly effective against a TB and a Conquer in a lot of these team fights if you're able to get it off outside of those BKBs.
Would you like to see some like tooltip on for the
Dire's
enemy
top
team,
tower
knowing
is
that how
under
much
attack.
intel they've lost? I feel like that would be
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little BM, isn't it? You're just saying, hey, by the way, you've died this many times to the silencer.
I feel like, yeah, I guess you're the feelers.
Dire's top tower
So
is
good old
under attack.
BKB TPR. Nothing foul. They don't have... Is there any way they're looking to deal with that as the game goes on? Satanic next item for Monkey. Mastros is pretty far up. He himself has a BKB TP.
Oh, the global, nice.
Gonna try and prevent that. Great use of the ultimate and KP in mid one. That's kill for them. Of course, they get some assistance across the map, but still a big one to find.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And SMG, they shouldn't be looking to put any kind of risk of Masteros buying back and looking to put any kind of pressure onto them if they're getting a little bit too eager, a little bit too happy with trying to go forward, right? Because you've used the Dark Ascension, you've used the Global Silence. If Storm has buyback, again, they don't know if he does or doesn't. You do run the risk that you can get turned around upon, and with Roche about to respawn in about 20 seconds, I don't think they want to put themselves in that kind of situation. So they're playing a little bit more passively, looking to farm, and if they are trying to engage, then at least they want to make it on their side of the map, so Storm's not able to buy back and zip in and join them.
Somehow, a 4-9-4 hero is top of the net worth.
Who was 0-7-1.
That's
get that
crazy.
Straight as well.
Jackie might add to an extra death. He's very survivable with the items that he's gone for. Super defensive. Satanic as well, next item, so continuing with the trend that he's got. They got the ward on the high ground. Mid one, initial stun. See if the chain lockdown's going to be perfect. They don't drag him out of the boat, but still mid one and able to get the BKB. Wukongs, is the extra armor going to be enough, or just Jackie have all the damage to be able to rip through him? It looks like it is at the moment. The Global Silence a little bit too late. That's a big kill to find, but still Motivate. They're losing a couple heroes simultaneously across the fight. As our food will fall, so we're 2 for 2, but it looks like Motivate be able to at least scurry out ahead in the team fight, cleaning off the Grimstroke. I say that though, but Moon and KP still off the outskirts. Will find Mastros, Jackie.
Moon's deadly here. He's got a lot of stolen intelligence.
Gotta be careful here.
Mantis up though.
Looks like they're actually just gonna look to retreat away. KP's got BKB into the TP. Just gonna look for the blink in a couple seconds. We'll make it, but now Moon, they've cancelled his own with Reflection. Can opt for a Shadowblade Q, a little bit behind, and he doesn't have any detection as well. Meta's out, actually. BKB Mantis still on cooldown. Oh, can he get the Sunder off? The reinforcements are coming through. It's just a Panko. Is the silence going to be long enough, or can he get the Sunder? Jackie needs it. One more second. Just he's going to end up falling.
The last word ended up proccing. That's what ended up killing, right?
Now KP.
He's gone for more.
More blood. He'll find it. The Night Stalker hunting in the night. A 5 wipe here from Motivate. As unfortunate for them. Actually, I should say kind of lucky that Roshan's not up, considering there's a DD at the mouth of the pit.
Going towards the bottom side. Just wanted to give that over to mid one, I'm sure. And Moon, he's so damn close to that level 25. It's only 35 minutes in, and he's having a spectacular game here. It really does go down to, of course, his individual play, but the drafting choice to be able to last pick this and screw with the lanes that Motivate were trying to go for. Even though MG.Trust did a good job, of course, in that off lane, it definitely wasn't what they were hoping for, trying to get it onto the back lines and try and deal with the Grimstroke early on into these team fights with the Storm Spirit. You just can't do it quite the same as this Conquer. Lotus, that's a really nice item to be able to have. You know, you can use the BKB to be able to, you know, man fight, and if the Global Silence is used afterwards, you've still got that way to purge it off. And not even just for yourself, right? You can toss it on to anyone.
They got Ags on Storm now. Do you feel like this...
Satanic as well for Monkey King? Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, well, they didn't get anything out of the DD, but
top tower is
Motivate looking to bring the fight. So they're going to smoke up. And Dive got
perfect position.
Firm control. Find an angle at the moment on Motivate. It's
Moon's
not
25.
an easy way to start the fight.
Oh, he's got the Arcane Rune as well. This is huge.
Oh, God. Not the last word mutes. They're going to be cautious.
I'm pretty
Smoke's
sure
gonna
that's
pop
permanent.
mid one. He's going to drop the Wukongs early. So they won't have this. Oh, man, KP, what a silence in the tree line. Jackie and able to get the items off, but Jackie's just getting completely kited. Hasn't been able to lock onto a hero at all. They're going to turn, try and deal with mid one, but still with the BKB. He hasn't used the Satanic yet as well, so Jackie needs help. He's just not right-clicking anyone. It's Motivated just crumbling in the team fight. Fearless will look to provide a little bit of space for the Torrent Storm still, but they got the chain silence, and Jackie can't get the Sunder. It can't escape.
I'm pretty sure Moon didn't get a single right click off at the starting part of that team fight. He has the Quickening Charm, he has the Arcane Rune, he's level 25, with an Octarine Core, so every 7 seconds he hit them with a 6-second silence. And you have to be casting abilities constantly. You've got the Arcane Curse, and he's also got that ton of Permanent Intelligence stolen. So just with the use of the last word, he's able to dish out so much damage.
Not only that, just the effect that it can do against nullifying items, just not giving them an opportunity to even use them. It's gonna try and Fountain Dive Pro old Q as well. Oh man, it's a tough life. Just give him more intel. Oh, Q, Jackie's gonna have to buy back, but
poor
Lions on cooldown, man. SMG, what a performance! They're gonna have to call it quits before the throne blows up, but it will not be before all of their heroes crumble in the fountain.
Very nicely done, being able to punish this Terrorblade, and honestly, it seemed like a nice outdraft there, coming from SMG with the last pick Silencer. I thought they played it to absolute perfection. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I do not want to see this Pangolier being picked up when a Bloodseeker is available, period. It feels like it just has next to no effect in all of these team fights. You know, you might be able to get a shield crash off, but, you know, if they've gotten rid of your Rolling Thunder and you've shield crashed, you can just switch to another target. You know, just ignore the person that's taking significantly less damage, but doing nothing in the team fights. So I think that's a big way to start things off. I mean, yeah, Set Zero won 18 and 11. And honestly, I didn't feel the impact of the Pangolier at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, for Motivate, it was nice to see how they could try and flex the Storm Spirit and playing it in the off lane. I felt like Mastros and Q had a relatively solid lane as it was starting, but we saw SMG, they are really not afraid to bring mid one down to another lane and really sacrifice KP. I mean, it really feels like people on whatever team KP's on, it always feels like he's the sacrificial lamb, but it felt like they just enabled mid one, coming down early that rotation, giving him a pretty much free lane down bottom, and it just hurt them so much. Unfortunately, we said, you know, with how Jackie was able to find his farm, he was 0-7 at one stage, still had props to be given somehow with being able to find some farm across the map and at least be equal net worth at some stage in that game. But do you feel like SMG, like, do you feel like this is much more of an outdraft, or did SMGs just really execute to a high level?
Bit of both, to be honest. I mean, you can have the outdraft, but if you don't play it to the strengths of the outdraft, then, you know, you can still get punished. But it felt like Moon was just positioned perfectly in every single fight, not being baited into the fact that, you know, I'm going to be able to deal some pretty decent right clicks onto the Kunkka, onto the Terrorblade. No, he prioritized having that Blink Dagger, being able to get that last word off, and let the Arcane Curse just do its work. It was a crazy good game for the Silencer, and I think Moon has to be the MVP with how he was able to just position himself and play, honestly, even the mid lane to pretty high effect.
And it's not easy as well against some of Motivate's heroes where they do have ways to gap close and get on top of the silencer. So definitely a solid performance overall for Moon, and for SMG continuing with their momentum at the moment in the Pro Series. They're looking to gain a further lead on the top of the table. They're currently about a map ahead of Boom at the moment. They have, I believe, played one more series though, so of course that's going to help out. But SMG are looking incredibly dominant, and we'll see this momentum is going to be able to continue into the second game, or if the third place Motivate can shut them down. Only time will tell, as we'll come back after a short break.